Technological advancements in the field of machine learning have enabled companies to develop voice and speech recognition solutions. Speech recognition and AI help take the pressure off AirQ. To understand this better, we would like to bring forward a fireside chat on voice technology in the aviation industry. This session is brought to you by our presenting partner, Skit.ai. To bring this discussion forward to you, we have Ms. Priyaah Sundaraam, Associate Vice President Customer Relations, IndiGo, and Ms. Srinivasan, Vice President Marketing, Skit.ai. Ladies, the stage is all yours.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Priya, thank you so much for taking the time out today to talk to me. I want to quickly get started by introducing myself. I'm Srinidhi, Vice President of Marketing at Skit. I have with me Priyaah Sundaraam, AVP Customer Relations at IndiGo. Priya, in her current role, manages all interactions via communication channels like contact center, emails, social media, live chats, and measures the overall customer experience for IndiGo. She's also responsible for automation and digitization across these channels. Priya, thank you so much. So let me directly jump to a bunch of questions that I have for you. You handle multiple interactions across these channels, right? So how important is voice as a touch point in the larger customer's journey for IndiGo?
IndiGo actually has a lot of, I would say, some of the philosophies on which we stand is, first of all, it's on time, courteous, hassle-free, and affordable. When we say on time, it's not only about on-time flights, it's all about on-time conversation, on-time resolving. For me, it's all about picking up the call on time, responding to customers on time, has to be hassle-free. Conceptually, we have made ourselves available across all channels, be it WhatsApp, social media, call center, email. And I know any traveler in a complex situation would want to speak to someone, and voice is absolutely a must, I would say. And there are times when a customer is facing any issue during the travel journey. We want to make ourselves very, very available, very reachable, and at the convenience of the customer. So he can actually opt for any channel that the customer is very comfortable with, and one of the channels being voice. I must also mention we deal with varied market segment, tier 1, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities. Some are evolved who actually transact on a bot or on mobile app, whereas there is another segment who would still want to talk to us, right? So for us, the voice penetration is absolutely a must, actually.
I think in India, voice is just extremely important, like you mentioned,
Absolutely.
because of the tier 2, tier 3 cities and messaging and all that is a little difficult for them.
True.
So voice tends to be extremely important. I completely agree. So Priya, if I had to ask you, how do you categorize the type of queries that you get within your contact center?
Very simple question. Srinidhi, if you have to travel, what are the top 5 questions that you get on a mind?
Baggage.
Absolutely.
Postponement, a couple of queries like
Terminal, what time,
yes.
is my flight on time? So these are the generic queries that I would say when we categorize it, when we bucketize it, when we look at what is that customer is asking. And I'm sure every industry, be it banking or pick up any industry, there would be top 5 simple questions that would be there that a consumer is kind of looking out for some kind of an answer, right? So those would be our basic queries.
Brilliant. So the next question that I have for you, Priya, is, so IndiGo was the first to adopt a voice AI solution, right, within the Indian aviation space. So in general, you know what, when a lot of people have actually adopted a solution, when data is available and a value is clearly proven, it makes it easier for you to make a case for a technology solution within. But then how did you first present a business case for a voice AI solution within IndiGo?
Good question, Srinidhi. In fact, I must admit that research on voice bot actually happened years before actually we implemented. I'm talking about 2014-15 when I was actually researching how voice bot could be implemented. But yes, the market wasn't ready at all. I personally invested time in understanding how it can make a difference in future. I must admit, pandemic really speeded up a lot of things, and we just went with the tide and we said, this is the right time to implement. Obviously, there were surging volumes, and we could clearly see the additional call volume or the queries or the simple tasks that a bot can kind of take over. And we found an opportunity for efficiency as well as scaling up the business, right? And IndiGo is absolutely the fastest growing airline. So I would say that was a strong business case for us. And obviously the technology that provides scalability, not only in terms of volume, but also in languages, that really supported us in a big way. So.
Brilliant. So how did you choose Skit? And can you talk to me a bit about the implementation process? Because a lot of them here who've come, they're either looking for a voice AI solution or they have one. So can you talk a little bit about why you chose Skit?
Sure. So I'm sure most of you, I can safely say, would have traveled IndiGo. Very, very progressive company, very inclined towards enhancing our customer experience. We have a very robust vendor selection program, Srinidhi. And obviously, we are looking at how sound the company is when it comes to technology, when it comes to scalability. And like I said, it's not only about volumes, it's also about the kind of languages, dialects, the penetration, their past performance, which industry have they served. It went through a lot of testing. And like I say, probably I was a firm believer in voice bot, that it's the right time to kind of inject in the market and take that leap. Obviously, you will have some colleagues who would say, let's test it out. And that's how we actually did a POC, and it went off very well, I must say, with a great success rate, and we could see efficiencies being built in without compromising on our customer experience. So that's the answer, I would say.
That's perfect. It's actually nice to hear that coming from your mouth, right? So we have 2 exact call recordings of actual IndiGo customers. So team, I'm just going to ask you to play the first recording, right? The first one, if you...
Namaste. Welcome to IndiGo. To continue in English, say English. हिंदी में बात करने के लिए कहिए हिंदी. हिंदी. नमस्ते, मैं डॉटी, इंडिगो में आपकी वर्चुअल असिस्टेंट. कृपया मुझे कुछ शब्दों में बताएं आप किस विषय में जानकारी चाहते हैं. जैसे आप कह सकते हैं, मेरी फ्लाइट का स्टेटस क्या है, या मैं फ्लाइट में कितना बैगेज ले जा सकता हूँ, आदि.
Change date of my flight.
समझ गई. तो आप अपनी फ्लाइट को रीशेड्यूल करने के चार्जेस और प्रक्रिया की जानकारी चाहते हैं.
Let me just talk a little bit about that conversation, right? If you think about India, I think mixing Hindi and English, we call it Hinglish, is extremely common, right? It is kind of a real language. It's kind of a real language in modern India, right? And so here what happens, the user chooses Hindi as an option. He says he wants to have a conversation in Hindi. And then he gives an input, not just in Hindi, but then he gives it in Hindi and English mixed. The bot actually understands that it's Hindi and English mixed, and then it kind of gives him an answer back in Hindi, because that was his preferred language that he chose, right? This is one. I have another audio recording for us.
You can say, tell me my flight status, or what should be the weight of my baggage, and so on.
I want to postpone my travel.
To help you with rescheduling charges and procedure, I have found your upcoming flight from Lucknow to Hyderabad on the 21st of March scheduled for 1920. Do you want to know the policy for the same?
Yes.
Thank you. So yes, and the conversation goes on. If you think about this recording, this is more around personalization and context, right? The user is a registered user calling from a registered mobile number, right? This was the mobile number that was used during the booking, and all the attributes are actually saved. And so the preferred language, we were able to pull up all the upcoming flight details and talk about it directly to the customer, right? And in a language that she is comfortable or she chose, that was her preference. So these are actual 2 real call recordings from our live deployment at IndiGo. So Priya, what do you think about this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would say one is that we are very clear it's a bot. It's not about replacing a human being, because a bot is a bot and a human being is a human being. Right. So one thing is for sure, when we even welcome a customer, we say, "Hi, I'm Dottie." So, and we see a shift in the market that they have started accepting it. Had we implemented this 2 years or 3 years back, I don't think so. The market was, was absorbent about this feature. Now we see that consumers are ready to talk, explore, and obviously we have curated it in a way that any conversation that goes sideways, we are able to catch such edge calls, and we say, we are going to transfer the call to, my colleague. And that's basically what it means is, with this bot, we have just deployed another X number of agents who can take care of our query calls and empower our current talent to take care of more complex calls, And that's a rich pool of talent that we have. Might as well use them to assist our customers in a better way, solve their complex problems without without having them to wait in a queue. The other thing is, I would say, these generic calls, we also see can be very easily handled by the bot. It's about articulating it better, understanding it. In fact, when I look at the journey of the implementation, Srinidhi, with your team, obviously we took their inputs because you had the expertise of saying what went right with your other partners or other clients and what we should do and should not do. So having said that, we had rich inputs on how we should go slowly, carefully carving out use cases, looking at those edge cases wherein it may fall through and there's an agent to kind of take care of the call. I must say, southern part of India, when we talk about the pronunciation, right? And M is like yum, right? So many other dialects and so many other variations to the same word. We ensure that we go through each and every word, because there's a PNR retrieval that is in process, exactly. Right? Yes. So how carefully we can carve that out, test it absolutely to the 100%, saying that this call will go through with the help of the bot. I think that kind of a partnership is extremely important. The other thing, and my 2 cents in the journey, I was very clear that talk about efficiencies of our customer experience. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a journey with a bot. Yes. It's never that. It's never like a plug and play solution that you plug it in and the next day you expect, it was a phenomenal kind of initiative. It's a journey, and I think we listen to hundreds and hundreds of calls and understand why the bot could not handle, which word it could not pick it up, or did the bot give the right answer to the query. It's a journey. I mean, anyone who's looking at implementing a bot has to be mindful that you need to give enough time for the bot to mature, to evolve, and it's a daily process. So yeah, that's been my implementation journey, I must say, and it's been very, very enriching, very engaging, and like I said, I'm able to kind of engage my current talent pool in resolving a far more complex queries now, bringing in efficiency, and like I said, we haven't compromised on our customer experience, actually, for our end customers.
Brilliant. That's really nice to hear. And I think you made a very valid point about how bots are not superhuman agents. right?
Oh, absolutely. They are not superhumans and they are not replacing human beings. Absolutely. They just bring in efficiency. And like I said, anyone in aviation here would understand. We have surge of calls when it comes to a slight disruption, I would say. And that could be a digital part of it, that could be a flight cancellation part of it, that could be a weather issue, some region of India. I'm saying those surge of calls when we get, I think bot is the easiest way to kind of handle, take care of those mundane questions that someone would be, waiting to be answered. Whereas my team, the human team, I would say, is there ready to take up these complex calls. Definitely we should not mix, and we should never feel that a bot is a human being, right? Because even today, I would say what a human being can bring to the table is very, very different. It handles emotions. It's like, it's more, it's a given thing. A bot is a bot. You train the bot, and that's it. It doesn't have any sentiments at this point in time. So I would just leave it at that and say, yes, it brings an efficiency. And whereas we kind of upskill our agents to handle the more complex situations.
Brilliant. And I think the results speak for themselves, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think there are some testimonials from our customers.
So we've actually received some testimonials from end customers, actually users like us of IndiGo. Can we bring that up? Yes. So these are some. I'm not sure how much they're visible from. I'm just going to read some for you, right? The bot was able to follow my accent very well and navigated very precisely. There is a user who actually says, I've used chatbot many times, but this is more interactive and very easy. Nice that IndiGo is using these kind of new platform and technology and constantly innovate. So these are actually end customer feedback that we've received, and we're extremely delighted.
Thank you, Srinidhi. Thank you. And I must say, there's a long way to go. But yes, like I said, it's a journey. It's an ever-evolving journey. So we are still looking at enhancing the current product and ensuring that we are able to kind of give that flexibility at call center where situations change and your product is agile enough to kind of adopt it and immediately kind of scale up quickly to cater to the situation. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Priya.